The Vatican is trembling tonight, because whispers echo through its ancient halls. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the humble son of the Philippines, is once again being named on the shortlist for the next pope. His name, spoken in secrecy by cardinals, is colliding with the storm of Pope Leo XIV's October schedule. A month already heavy with prophecy, suspense, and history in the making. Pope Leo XIV has unveiled a Jubilee calendar called the Jubilee of Hope. Masses for missionaries, migrants, consecrated life, and Marian devotion. And on October 19th, the canonization of 7 blesseds, including the beloved José Gregorio Hernández Cisneros. The faithful are already calling it a sign, a divine marker in time. But behind the joy of canonizations, there is tension. Cardinal Tagle's name rising once again, a man many call the Asian Francis, gentle, missionary, deeply pastoral, yet burning with fire for the poor. Reports from Reuters, National Catholic Reporter, all hinting the same chilling possibility that if the papacy should pass once more, Tagle stands as a contender, a shepherd who could carry Francis's flame further. Yet Pope Leo XIV himself is only just beginning, his pontificate marked by listening, by discernment, by careful steps that echo the legacy of Francis. But with his own calm and measured touch, he presides now, but cardinals are already looking ahead. Why? Why so soon? Because October is not just a month of celebrations, it is also the month of endings. Cardinal Marcello Semiraro's term at the dicastery for the causes of saints comes to a close. Other dicasteries are shifting, and with every vacancy, every appointment, the world watches Leo XIV's choices. Will they reveal his true direction? Or will they trigger whispers of succession even louder than before? The Church stands between 2 paths. One, stability under a cautious pope finding his way. Another, the shadow of Tagle, waiting in silence, called by many the chosen heart of Asia. Some say the canonization on October 19th is no coincidence, that saints are being raised as signs for what is to come. The Vatican knows this much. The bride of Christ is being purified, by fire, by division, by hope, and as the faithful kneel in St. Peter's Square this October, every eye will be fixed not only on Pope Leo XIV, but also on Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, whose future may already be written in ways the world cannot yet see. The air in Rome is heavy, not with celebration alone, but with a sense of something greater, something hidden, something divine unfolding before human eyes. Pope Leo XIV walks beneath the marble columns of the Vatican, his October schedule shining brightly to the faithful. Jubilee of Hope. Canonizations. Gatherings of consecrated life and pastoral councils. Yet behind every announcement, behind every holy mass, there are whispers, shadows, and signs. The Catholic Church, 2,000 years of blood, tears, triumph, and mystery, now stands at another crossroad. Cardinals move in silence, their voices low, their eyes restless, and a single name seems to rise above the rest. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. They call him humble. They call him merciful. They call him the Asian Francis. But in the darkened corners of the Vatican, his name is spoken with both hope and fear. Because the papacy is not only a throne of Peter, it is also a battlefield. A battlefield between light and darkness, between tradition and renewal, between the forces that want to silence the gospel and the Spirit of God who cannot be silenced. The bride of Christ, the Holy Catholic Church, is entering her purification, her trial, her hour of testing. Pope Leo XIV has inherited the mantle of Francis, a church open, missionary, compassionate, but also a church wounded by scandal, fractured by factions, pressured by the world. His style is cautious, measured, a man who listens first, who discerns, who walks slowly. Yet time does not slow for him, because October 2025 is no ordinary month. The canonization of 7 blesseds on October 19th, José Gregorio Hernández Cisneros among them, is being seen not only as a gift, but as a prophecy. Saints raised to the altars just as leadership shifts in the Vatican. Cardinals know that every canonization is more than honor. It is a declaration of heaven's presence on earth, and perhaps a divine warning. Behind the Holy Father's public smile, there are murmurs of secret gatherings, factions within the Curia moving like unseen armies. Some demand reform, openness, dialogue. Others cry for tradition, for silence, for control. And within this clash of powers, one question burns brighter than all the rest. Who will guide the Church when the next storm comes? Cardinal Tagle's name grows louder. Analysts across the world see him as Papabile, a true contender. Reuters, national Catholic reporter, whisper of him again, as if destiny has circled back. Twice considered, twice passed over, could it be that God has preserved him for a later hour? Could it be that his moment has not yet come, but is near? The Vatican walls have seen centuries of struggle. They have heard the cry of martyrs, the betrayal of Judas, the rise of saints, the schemes of powers. And now, in this October of Jubilee, while Pope Leo XIV holds the chair of Peter, a shadow prophecy lingers. A sense that the purification of the Bride of Christ will demand more than words, more than ceremonies, more than Jubilee. It will demand blood, sacrifice, and faith tested to its very limits. The Church is not merely celebrating. It is trembling, because there are rumors, of visions, of warnings, of messages from Jesus himself, messages of the storm that is coming, of the sword that divides, of the fire that purifies. Some say the Virgin at Fatima foresaw this hour. Others whisper that Nostradamus, or Malachi, had hinted that a pope in these days would face trials that no other could endure. And now, as October unfolds, the faithful look upon Pope Leo XIV, cautious, careful, measured, and upon Cardinal Tagle, humble, missionary, beloved, wondering if destiny is already weaving a path that neither of them can escape. The Bride of Christ is walking into her midnight, and only heaven knows if her purification will reveal the light of a new dawn, or the smoke of greater trial, and this is only the beginning. The Vatican at night is never truly silent. The marble halls may sleep, but the walls themselves seem to breathe, carrying the weight of centuries, carrying secrets too heavy for men to speak aloud. And now, in the heart of October 2025, that silence is breaking. Pope Leo XIII, barely months into his pontificate, is already surrounded by storms. His Jubilee of Hope shines in the daylight. Great gatherings in St. Peter's Square, pilgrims kneeling, missionaries weeping with joy, migrants embraced as family, consecrated souls renewing vows beneath the gaze of heaven. On October 19th, the canonization of 7 blesseds will ring like thunder. José Gregorio Hernández Cisneros, raised to the altar as a saint for the people, a physician of the poor. And yet, while the bells will toll for holiness in the shadows of the Vatican, whispers toll for something else: succession. Because the Catholic Church is more than ceremony, more than Jubilee. It is the battlefield of souls. The Bride of Christ is radiant, yet wounded. She is loved, yet betrayed. She is holy, yet hunted by powers seen and unseen. And behind the light of canonizations the darkness moves. Factions rise, secret councils form. Some cry, return to tradition. Others demand, advance with the Spirit. And caught between them, Pope Leo XIV walks cautiously, carefully, listening, discerning. But the forces that oppose him are not patient. Names are rising. Names are falling. And above them all, one name is spoken with trembling lips: Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the son of Asia, the missionary heart, the man many call the Asian Francis. Twice he was whispered as Papabile, twice he was left waiting in silence. But destiny does not abandon her chosen ones. Reuters confirms it. National Catholic reporter repeats it. He is again named among the contenders, the short list. The next in line should the chair of Peter be left empty once more. But what makes this different? Why now? Because October 2025 is not merely a month of liturgy. It is a month of prophecy. The term of Cardinal Marcello Semeraro ends. Other dicasteries shift. and every change in curial power echoes like footsteps in the dark. The Pope appoints, but factions resist. The Pope listens, but rival voices scheme, and deep inside the Vatican, ancient networks move like serpents in silence. The Church is trembling, because the purification of the bride has begun, and the faithful know it. They see scandals unmasked, corruption revealed, wolves in shepherd's clothing exposed. They see the clash of light and darkness no longer hidden, but raging in full view of the world. And as the Church suffers, the words of Christ resound. The gates of hell shall not prevail. But will the gates of hell try? Oh yes, and they already have. Tagle is seen as a shepherd of mercy, but mercy frightens the wolves. He is seen as humble, simple, but simplicity threatens those who cling to power. He is seen as missionary, outward, global, but that threatens those who prefer the Church to remain locked, silent, controlled. So they rise against him, not openly, but in shadows, in whispers, in secret gatherings where power is traded like silver coins in the hand of Judas. And as the month of October unfolds, signs appear. The skies over Rome grow heavy. Pilgrims speak of visions, of dreams, of warnings from the Virgin. A nun in South America cries out that she saw Tagle holding a burning cross, weeping as flames consumed the Vatican walls. A mystic in Poland declares that Jesus has spoken. The Church shall be cleansed in fire, and a shepherd from afar shall be tested. The faithful tremble, unsure whether to rejoice or to fear. And Pope Leo XIV, he knows, his eyes reveal it. He walks slowly, but his gaze is heavy with knowledge. He presides over the Jubilee of hope, but within him he feels the Jubilee of trial. He canonizes saints, but in his heart he knows the living Church will be asked to live sanctity in blood, not merely in celebration. Because the bride of Christ is not preparing for peace. She is preparing for her passion. And in this passion, one man may be called to carry the cross further than any expected. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. The Vatican trembles. Rome trembles. The world trembles. Because prophecy and politics, heaven and earth, are colliding. And when such collisions come, the Catholic Church does not remain untouched. She is purified, she is broken, she is tested. But she rises. Always she rises. But the question remains, who will rise with her? Who will lead her through the fire? Will it be Leo XIV, careful and cautious, guiding the bride in her pain? Or will the eyes of heaven turn, sooner than the world expects, to Tagle, the man waiting in silence, prepared to be crowned not with power, but with sacrifice? The storm has begun. The factions are moving. The bride is trembling. And the faithful must prepare their hearts, because the purification is here, and this is only the first sign. The Vatican, the heart of the Catholic Church, the holy city within a city, is shaking with a silence that feels louder than thunder. Pilgrims see the smiles, the prayers, the Jubilee of hope unfolding in October 2025, but beneath the banners and hymns, something deeper is moving, something the world cannot yet see. Something that heaven has already decreed. Because this Jubilee is not only a time of celebration, it is a time of warning, a holy trumpet sounding across the earth calling every soul to awaken. Pope Leo XIV stands at the center of it all, his figure radiant in white beneath the sun of St. Peter's Square. He raises his hands to bless, but those hands are trembling with the weight of heaven's burden. He canonizes saints. He proclaims hope. He speaks of unity, but even as his words echo, factions stir in the shadows. Secret councils of cardinals gather at night. They whisper of power, of influence, of the future. Some speak of obedience, others of rebellion. Some dream of a church closed and controlled, others of a church free and fearless. And within those secret halls, one name pierces every conversation like lightning in a storm. Tagle. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. His name rises again. The shepherd from Asia, the one called the Asian Francis. twice overlooked, twice deferred. Yet destiny does not abandon her chosen. His humility unsettles the proud. His compassion terrifies the merciless. His missionary heart strikes fear into those who would keep the church chained in palaces of gold. And so, even as pilgrims sing hymns in the open square, cardinals argue in secret, and angels weep at the clash of powers unfolding behind the Vatican's walls. But what makes this hour different is not politics alone. It is prophecy. Voices cry out across the earth. In Fatima, pilgrims kneel and claim the Virgin's mantle has moved, as if signaling her children to prepare. In Lourdes, waters tremble unnaturally, reflecting the moon in shapes of a crown and a cross. In the Philippines, faithful gather at dawn claiming to see 3 suns in the sky, one bright, one fading, and one rising. And they whisper, Francis, Leo, Tagle, signs, warnings, shadows of what is to come. And as these visions spread, the bride of Christ is entering her purification. Scandal after scandal burns away her impurities. Division after division tears her open. And yet, beneath the pain, something greater is being revealed. A bride clothed in light, tested, refined, prepared for her bridegroom. But purification is never gentle. It is fire, it is storm. It is the clash of heaven and hell. And right now, that clash is centered on Rome. Some say Jesus himself has spoken to mystics in hushed corners. The shepherd you do not expect will be tested in the fire of betrayal. The one who was silenced shall speak. The one overlooked shall be lifted. Others warn that the enemy has also risen, sending wolves dressed as shepherds into the Curia, ready to devour the flock from within. And in the middle of this cosmic battlefield stands Pope Leo XIV, cautious, measured, listening, but pressed on every side by forces too great for any man. And still, the name of Tagle does not fade. Reuters writes it. National Catholic Reporter repeats it. Vatican insiders admit it. He is on the short list. The short list for the next successor to Peter, should the chair be emptied once more. And this fact alone makes the air in the Vatican electric, heavy, dangerous. Because to be named Papabile is to carry both hope and a target. Already, letters circulate in secret. Hidden documents that reveal plots, betrayals, scandals waiting to explode. Already, some cardinals speak of loyalty to Leo XIV, while others speak of preparing for his replacement. Already, the devil whispers in the night, divide, divide, divide. But Christ speaks louder. The gates of hell shall not prevail. And so the bride of Christ stands trembling, waiting, praying, as Rome itself becomes the stage of the greatest spiritual drama of our time. A pope in the present, a contender in the wings, a church in the fire, a bride in her midnight hour. This is not politics. This is not ceremony. This is the clash of eternity, the purification of the bride, the apocalyptic weight of heaven pressing down upon earth. And soon, very soon, the world will see what heaven has prepared. But the question is, will the faithful be ready? The night sky over Rome hangs heavy. Clouds gather like a veil over the eternal city, as if heaven itself is watching. Inside the Vatican, lights flicker through long corridors, but the silence is not peace. It is tension, the kind that tightens the soul. The Catholic Church, the bride of Christ, is being shaken, purified, tested. And in this October of 2025, her trial is reaching its fiercest hour. Pope Leo XIV continues his Jubilee of hope. Processions, masses, canonizations. 7 new saints raised to the altars, their names sung like thunder across St. Peter's Square. Pilgrims weep, banners wave, bells echo into the heavens. But behind the smiles and hymns, something darker grows. A storm, a division, a battle that no choir can drown out. Because the bride of Christ is not just celebrating, she is entering her passion. Cardinals walk the marble floors with measured steps. Some kiss the fisherman's ring with loyalty. Others bow outwardly, but their hearts burn with ambition. Factions form in whispers. conservatives demanding control, progressives pushing forward, moderates caught in the storm. And in every gathering, one name cuts through the silence like a sword: Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the humble son of Asia, the missionary heart of the poor, twice overlooked, twice silenced. But now destiny drags his name back into the fire. Analysts declare it, journalists print it, even the faithful murmur it: he is Papabile once more. But to be Papabile is to walk into the cross, to be praised by heaven but hunted by hell. And already, hell is stirring. Documents sealed in the Vatican archives begin to leak. Letters surface, letters accusing, warning, dividing. Some claim hidden sins of Tagle, others exalt his purity. Some accuse Leo XIV of weakness, others defend his caution. It is betrayal. It is Judas alive again, 30 pieces of silver clinking in the night. Cardinals argue, voices rise in hidden chambers, and as the Curia trembles, the faithful outside kneel in prayer, unaware of the knives drawn within. Yet heaven does not remain silent. Strange signs begin to unfold. In the middle of a canonization mass, a sudden gust sweeps through St. Peter's Square, extinguishing half the candles on the altar, while the others remain burning, a split of light and darkness. In the skies above, lightning strikes not once, not twice, but 3 times over the basilica, though no storm is forecast. And pilgrims cry out, some claiming to see the outline of a cross in the clouds, others swearing they heard a voice cry, "Purify my church." The Vatican is shaken. The cardinals are shaken. Even the Pope himself is shaken, because the bride of Christ is no longer hidden in mystery. She is being laid bare, her wounds exposed, her sins revealed, her divisions made visible. And the purification burns like fire. Tagle himself prays in silence. Alone in his room, he kneels before the crucifix, tears on his face. He does not seek power, does not crave a crown. He whispers only one prayer: Fiat voluntas tua, thy will be done. But even as he prays, forces move against him. His name is lifted in hope, but also attacked with venom. Because when heaven calls a shepherd, hell sharpens its swords. And then, the twist no one expected. During a gathering of the College of Cardinals, a meeting filled with tension, rivalry, suspicion, the lights in the hall suddenly go dark. Silence falls. Then a glow appears above the crucifix. Not fire, not electricity, but light. Pure, radiant, unearthly. And in that moment, every cardinal sees it. The face of Christ, crowned with thorns, his eyes burning with sorrow. And with love. His lips move, and though no sound is heard by ears, every heart receives the words, "My bride must be cleansed. My bride must be tested. My bride must be faithful unto death." Cardinals fall to their knees. Some weep, some tremble. Some flee the hall in terror. But one remains standing, unable to move, unable to breathe. Cardinal Tagle. His eyes meet the vision, and though he feels unworthy, though he feels crushed by the weight of it, something deeper fills him. Fire, courage, surrender. And as the vision fades, one thing is clear. The Church has entered her night of trial. The papacy itself has entered the battlefield. Pope Leo XIV remains, but the storm is upon him. Cardinal Tagle rises not by ambition, not by choice, but by destiny. The bride of Christ will be purified, and the next chapter of salvation history is already being written. And in that silence, in that trembling, a sound breaks forth from the heavens, rolling like thunder across Rome. Exi, sponsa, ecce sponsus. Behold the bride, behold the bridegroom. No one expected it, no one imagined it, but heaven has spoken. The Church has begun her apocalyptic purification, and the world will never be the same again.